Good morning, folks. This is Chuck and Sue with the Real Estate Zoo.
Good morning, everybody.
We're gonna talk a little bit today about the season that we're entering, and for those of you watching from maybe up north somewhere, or northern areas somewhere, you might think, well, you're going to talk about winter in Florida. Well, you know, our season that's starting right now is called the Snowbird season. Talk a little bit about that and our older population here. But first, we're going to have Chuck talk about what's going on with interest rates today and the government shutdown.
Last week, I talked about what would happen after the Fed vote, and I said mortgage rates would go up slightly, and guess what happened? Mortgage rates went up slightly. But now they've kind of balanced out. This morning, I checked. Conventional 30-year mortgage was 5.99, and the FHA rate was, I believe, 5.84, and VA is right around the same. So mortgage rates are sitting pretty much the same. I'd be very curious to see what happens if we get the government going again, and we may, because the local elections are over, and we probably get the government going again. There's a lot of mayhem right now. I hear people blaming Trump for turning off food stamps, which is absolute nonsense since he has no control over that. But Congress needs to get going. Senate needs to get going to get this done. Then we get data, and then we'll see what happens with rates after that. And I would expect, we're probably expecting another rate cut in December. And that's where we are with it.
Even though Powell didn't really commit to that, he was kind of stir the pot a little bit more, I think.
Yeah, but I think poly market's still got like a 75% chance of a rate cut in December. And we'll see where that goes.
Yeah. Right, so our snowbirds, for those who don't know, snowbirds are they tend to be the older population that comes down to Florida or other places. There's some big snowbird population in Texas
you're up
as
north,
well.
And then snowbirds are those little black birds that sit in your bird seat in the wintertime in the snow.
Oh, you mean the chickadees?
The little chickadees, yeah. We call those snowbirds. Not the same.
Yeah. So between December and March, April, usually, like, you know, after Thanksgiving, around Thanksgiving time, maybe Christmas and Thanksgiving and Christmas through Easter generally is when we're getting a snowbird population here, and it gives Florida, and there's no real numbers here because there's no census data or anything for this, but there's been people who have looked at estimates, and as much as 5% of our population in Florida is snowbirds during those months. So it doesn't sound like a lot, but our population is over 23 million now, so it easily translates into over 1 million temporary residents that we have here in Florida. We like our snowbirds, though. They give us a lot of stability. They have got spending power. Again, estimated they can spend tens of billions of dollars in our economy.
We need our snowbirds.
Housing, services, entertainment. And when we go to church on Sundays, and we notice when our attendance goes way up because the parking lot fills up.
That's true. Yeah, we're in Calvary Chapel. It fills right up in there.
It does. Yeah. So there's the geographically, they're migrating to the coastal areas for the most part, but they're also some are migrating to the central and eastern.
And soon I host a Christian home group, and our home group attendance goes way up when our snowbirds.
It does. We have a lot of snowbirds in that group too. So So as far as the impact on real estate, a lot of the snowbirds, they don't want to be doing maintenance on their house when they're down here, so they're buying townhomes, condos, and they're buying as second homes. So they're coming here and knowing that they have a place to stay right away instead of having
to make the permanent step too. That happens sometimes too.
They do. So a lot of those, a lot of people that are snowbirds, or even those that haven't been snowbirds and just came here for vacations and loved it, are also moving to Florida, and especially after retirement. So there's a Wallet Hub does a report on best states to retire based on affordability and quality of life, and Florida consistently ranks #1 and did again in 2025. So we've got the warmer climates, which know, but my arthritic bones kind of like that.
Nice when it's 70 degrees in January. And not every day, but
Yeah, we got the coastal lifestyle. There's beaches, there's recreational options, and any day of the week in the winter, you can go down to the beach and see, you know, older people just walking along the beach, enjoying the ocean sounds and picking up little shells and so forth. But the other big appeal here is the lack of taxes. We have no state income taxes. Right now, our governor has been talking about getting rid of real estate taxes for homeowners,
for
homesteaded property. So for property you live in.
Great for our market.
So
you could afford more house if you didn't have a tax bill attached to your escrows.
Yes, and especially when those taxes keep going up every.
It's also great for retired people who own their home free and clear. And literally, we have people in Florida who cannot afford their home because their property taxes went up so high. So if you buy a house for $250,000 per se a few years back, and you live in your home and you're happy, and then all of a sudden, some county decides your house is now worth $500,000 and we're going to tax you. Like, how is that fair? You know, you lose your house to taxes. So to me, if you are taxed on your homestead property, you never really own your homestead property. The county owns it. Our governor liked to do it. But I think that's a good thing too.
Yep. So Chuck, we've been looking at this. It's expected that next year in 2026, there's going to be a referendum on this and whether people want the taxes to go away for their homestead exemption. But it's that unfortunately, there's some legislators that are against this whole idea, and it's not going to be a clear cut yes no question.
If we had a straight referendum, do you want to pay taxes or not, it would win resoundingly. No problem passing. But what we have now, we have a bunch of greedy local politicians in counties and cities who are used to that money, frankly, and they want that money. They want that tax base, and they'll tell you they need it, although there are lots of other sources that say they don't, because there's other ways to generate the revenue. I don't want time to go into all that, but another topic maybe. But we have multiple things to vote on, and you know, multiple choices in the bill, in the referendum. Oh, do you want to pay this? Do you want to pay this? Do you want to pay this? And it's frankly just an effort to kill the referendum. Is what it is.
It should be a yes or no question.
Yeah. But I'm telling you, if you're in Florida and you want to not pay property taxes on your property, you need to get in touch with your politician, your local politicians, your county, your state representatives, and you push for that, because if we don't, they're going to take it away from us. Yep.
And Chuck's right. A lot of older people in particular, and some of them are on reverse mortgages too, and they still have to pay their taxes and their insurance, and they have to keep up the repairs on their house. If they need a new roof, they have to get it done, because without the roof being repaired, you can't get insurance, and it all comes back to your mortgage again. So if you have, but I'm saying if you have a reverse mortgage. So that's kind of the appeal for seniors. Hopefully we'll get that property tax thing taken care of next year, and that would just be a blessing for so many people here. That, you know, Florida is leading the ways. We have a lot of laws that protect seniors here. I remember when I first came to Florida, I was working a job where I had my insurance license, and in the real estate courses too, there's a lot of emphasis on protecting seniors here. Job with that. Right. Unfortunately, it also attracts the scammers who go after seniors too. So be careful when you answer all those calls and so forth.
There will be legislators who say, "Well, we can't run the schools without property taxes. We can't." But that's nonsense. There are other things we can do. For example, we can raise sales tax. And when you raise sales tax, what that does is it shifts a lot of the tax burden from the local people who work here to a lot of the tourist population. Now, yes, the local people will pay more in sales tax when they buy certain items, but not food, because we don't tax food here. Or in general, we don't tax food, depending on what it is, but mostly no. And so it shifts that burden to the population that's here on vacation. And I assure you that if we go from say 7% to 14% like they do in other blue states or up north states, going to buy the theme park cheeseburger at 14% or whatever tax rate they charge when mom and dad are screaming, the kids are going, "We're hungry," they're still going to buy it. They're still going to order the drink in the bar and the tiki bar. They're on vacation and they're not going to pay attention.
So if you're, over 65 and you're retiring, come here and buy a house.
And come to Brevard County because we have beautiful homes and beautiful beaches and beautiful tiki bars and restaurants and places to go, and our traffic's not as bad and our prices are more reasonable and our weather is absolutely gorgeous, and we have less hurricanes here than other parts of the state.
We do. We have fewer hurricanes.
We have less hurricanes here.
Yeah. We always say there's a reason that they built the space center here. So.
Much rocket launches every week. Right, yeah. So, yeah. Okay, folks. Yeah.
It was helpful. If you're thinking about coming to Florida and you're looking at retirement and want to come here, you know who to call, right? We say sold. Super Raleigh. Okay.
Super Raleigh real estate broker. That's right, folks.
Thanks for joining us on the Real Estate Zoo. We'll catch you next time.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.